You guys, a 49-year-old man named Floyd Ray Roseberry. He was just arrested for claiming to have a bomb in front of the Library of Congress. U.S. Capitol Police Chief J. Thomas Menger said, "He gave up, did not resist, and our folks were able to take him into custody. We don't know what his motives are at this time." What had happened was, the man drove a black pickup truck onto the sidewalk in front of the library's Thomas Jefferson building at 9:15 a.m. And then he told an officer he had a bomb. After that, several streets and buildings near the Library of Congress were closed off while the police negotiated with the man through whiteboards. They even used a robot to try to give him a phone to communicate with, but Menger said Roseberry declined to use it. Eventually, Roseberry got out of the vehicle and he was taken into custody without incident or damage to the Library of Congress. The U.S. Capitol Police did not find a bomb in the vehicle, but said that possible bomb-making materials were collected from the truck. Menger also said that Roseberry's mother had recently died and that, according to his family, there were some other issues that he was dealing with. Well, I think we're all having all sorts of feelings and issues during this, so stay safe out there, guys, and always reach out to your friends and your loved ones. Matter of fact, drop us a comment down below and let us know if you're going through some real hardship during this. I think it would be good for our community to unload a little bit here. I know things are rough out there, but our community is here for you. And you know what else is also here for you? The $3.5 trillion stimulus package in the works in Congress right now. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is really pushing for it big time.
So my largest concern is not what are the risks if we make these big investments. It is what is the cost if we don't.
Now, Yellen called out four destructive forces that threaten the nation's long-term growth: declining labor force participation, wage polarization, and climate change.
Fiscal policy can help unwind them, or the lack thereof can intensify them. And we know this because that's exactly what's happened over the past 40 years.
Janet Yellen wrote in a Yahoo Finance article that two stimulus packages are really the fiscally responsible thing to do. According to her, we are now engaged in the most important economic project in recent history, repairing the broken foundations of our economy and, on top of them, building something stronger and fairer than what came before. As for lawmakers worrying about the price tag, Janet Yellen is saying that now is the right time to make investments because of the low interest rates, and that proposals are fiscally responsible because the spending would be spread out over time and their costs would be offset by tax increases on wealthy individuals and on corporations. The Treasury Department also announced that only a few small business owners would see their taxes increase under the president's proposal to raise the top income tax rate for high earners. The White House launched a very long fact sheet about it, but the main highlight here really is that less than 3% of small business owners would be affected by President Biden's proposal to increase the top federal income tax rate from 37% to 39.6%. Even better, 3.9 million small business owners would receive tax cuts under President Biden's proposal to extend the expansion of the Child Tax Credit and Affordable Care Act subsidies. Any small business owners in the audience today? Drop me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys, and also let me know what kind of business you're in. In other Janet Yellen news, she and Secretary Marty Walsh have ruled out an extension of jobless aid programs beyond the looming September 6th expiration. Guys, that's like 2 weeks away from now. In a Thursday letter to congressional leaders, Yellen and Walsh said it was appropriate for a $300 weekly boost to unemployment insurance and other expanded benefits programs to expire as scheduled on September 6th. The temporary $300 boost in benefits will expire on September 6th as planned. As President Biden said, the boost was always intended to be temporary, and it is appropriate for the benefit boost to expire. Now, the way I see it, they probably thought an extension wouldn't make the cut anyway because Republicans and at least one Democrat, Senator Joe Manchin, would likely be opposing it. But they did open the door, though, for states to come in and use the funding from the $1.9 trillion third stimulus check package to support unemployed workers. According to them, there are states where it may make sense for unemployed workers to continue receiving additional assistance for a longer period of time, allowing residents of those states more time to use part of their slice of the $350 billion in state and local aid included in the March stimulus bill to fund supplements to unemployment benefit amounts. Now, we've already seen states use their aid money to fund other stimulus programs like state stimulus checks, state hazard pay, and lots of other items. Now, another major voice throwing their all-out support for the $3.5 trillion stimulus package is Senate Budget Chair Bernie Sanders, who led the talks on the blueprint for the spending package. Sanders is hitting the road to pitch the Democrats' $3.5 trillion spending plan. He's hitting two solidly red states, Iowa and Indiana, because according to him, while the stimulus package will have no Republican support in Washington, Democrats, independents, and working class Republicans all over the country support our plan to finally invest in the long neglected needs of working families. I very much look forward to hearing from some of them. And I think he has a good point here. A recent survey this month showed 62% of Americans supported a $3.5 trillion spending plan for social programs, including childcare, education, and expanding Medicare for seniors. Only 32% were against it. Just look at how the latest stimulus package compares to other popular bills in U.S. history. Not to mention, the third stimulus check was the most popular among all the provisions in this bill and the previous stimulus packages. Now, according to the other side, Republicans are saying the socialist takeover of the Democratic Party is completely, and so-called moderate Senate Democrats have barely put up a fight. They have shown little discomfort with Bernie Sanders leading their agenda down a path towards socialism. One thing is clear about today's Democratic Party: Bernie Sanders is the captain now. Kind of reminds me of that movie with Tom Hanks in it, and the guy comes on the ship and he's like, I'm the captain. If you remember what movie I'm talking about. Now, Republicans are talking about how Democrats are pushing this whole thing through reconciliation, the process that would let them pass the bill with a simple majority, meaning 50 Senate Democrat votes plus Vice President Kamala Harris's tiebreaker vote. But it's also good to remember how Republican lawmakers used reconciliation to provide tax breaks to big corporations that allowed Amazon and other Fortune 500 companies to get away with crazy tax payouts. In 2018, Amazon posted income of more than $11 billion, but the company paid $0 in federal taxes. In fact, thanks to tax credits and tax deductions, Amazon actually received a federal tax refund of $129 million. That's some impressive tax strategy. That was a year after Amazon received a $137 million refund from the federal government for 2017. Now, here's Senator Bernie Sanders' take on this one. The latest news on the fourth stimulus package is that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is calling House moderates bluff on tanking the $3.5 trillion stimulus package in favor of the $1 trillion bipartisan deal. Pelosi told her team on a private call on Monday night, there is no time for amateur hour. There is no way we can pass those bills unless we do so in the order we originally planned. She also added, for the first time, America's children have leverage. I will not surrender that leverage. And since we have that leverage, maybe we can also use it to get that fourth stimulus check in there. Remember guys, it may not be in the bill right now, but there's certainly enough support for it. The situation is very similar to how we didn't see a second stimulus check in December until the very last minute, and then guess what? A second stimulus check and then a third stimulus check followed soon after. Now I'm betting that the Democrats are just waiting to confirm how much they can pass, when it comes to wealth and corporate tax hikes. Once they lock that in, then they have the wiggle room to work with to possibly include more stimulus, including the crowd favorite, the fourth stimulus check. But what do you guys think? More stimulus news coming in just a little bit. And don't forget our finale today on schools using federal stimulus to cancel student loan debt already. Could yours be one of them? Stay tuned to find out. Another urgent warning first to our community members who are on a T-Mobile plan. The latest T-Mobile data hack exposed the personal information of more than 47 million people. T-Mobile confirmed that data of over 40 million former or prospective customers had previously applied for credit, and 7.8 million postpaid customers who currently have a contract were stolen. That means very important information like your first and your last names, dates of birth, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, lots of important stuff is now out there. So really all the information that any fraudster would need to kind of set up a spending account with your name, yeah. And it gets even scarier for T-Mobile prepaid customers. How many of you guys are using prepaid phones? Well, prepaid T-Mobile customers were also victims of the breach, and for them, the exposed data includes names, phone numbers, and account PINs. T-Mobile said it had over 104 million customers, and when we checked, they're currently holding 25% of mobile users in the United States. So, if you happen to be a T-Mobile user, or you happen to know someone who is a T-Mobile user, you might want to share this video with them. And you can check out their page on their website for more information, as well as shortcuts to change your PINs and your passwords. Gotta be safe out here, guys. And to make up for the big mistake, T-Mobile is offering 2 years of free identity protection services for McAfee and recommends postpaid customers to change their PINs and mentions its account takeover protection capabilities to prevent SIM swapping attacks. Like I said earlier, guys, stay safe out there. Stock tip of the day: if you guys want to invest in big names like Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Tesla all together, then you should really check out the hottest tech stock out there right now, NVIDIA. Now, of course, this is not stock advice, this is not investment advice, this is purely for entertainment purposes. Amazon, Facebook, Google, and Tesla are among the companies that buy NVIDIA's graphic cards. And just to give you guys an idea of how big their coverage is, NVIDIA provides about 17% of all graphic cards in the United States. NVIDIA's revenue surged 68% year over year to $6.5 billion. The chipmaker enjoyed broad-based growth, with sales in its data center and gaming segments increasing 35% and 85% respectively. Now, you can just take a look at their stock price for last year. You'll see a 63% price jump, which is definitely a good deal. And remember, guys, remote work isn't just going to go away anytime soon. And with these remote workers, especially those graphic designers and video editors, they're going to need the heavy-duty graphics cards that NVIDIA is offering. Just some things to consider if you happen to be in the stock market right now. More stock talk in our stock market video coming soon. Watch out for that one. All right, so colleges are now using President Biden's stimulus to wipe out student debt. The Education Department announced in March that colleges could use funds from President Joe Biden's American Rescue Plan to wipe out student debts owed to their schools. This covers overdue tuition bills and various fines accrued during school. And just to give you guys an estimate, there could be as much as $15 billion in unpaid balances to colleges and to universities. So what schools are doing is using stimulus funds to relieve students of institutional debt. Delaware State University was the first school to announce it would be using President Biden's stimulus to cancel $730,655 in student loan debt for recently graduated schools who face financial hardships during the many schools, particularly historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, are now doing the same thing. Now, of course, we're still waiting on President Biden and Congress to approve the even bigger federal student loan debt. This covers the student loan companies that collect debt from students. President Biden campaigned on canceling $10,000 in student loan debt per borrower, along with canceling debt for students attending public colleges and HBCUs. Senator Elizabeth Warren and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer are leading the $50,000 push. They are both saying that Biden can cancel student loan debt immediately just with the stroke of a pen. Right now, we're waiting on the Education Department memo that President Biden asked for on this one. More on this and other stimulus programs in our next news updates. Now, while you guys are waiting, watch out for our playlist section for a deep dive into our favorite topics like credit card hacks, student loan forgiveness, and also Social Security. So I just want to thank you guys for all your likes, all your shares, and all your comments. All the support, including the channel memberships, really gives us the resources to create even more of your requested content and allows me to keep eating, drinking, and sleeping stimulus for you guys. Be sure to check out the membership program through the join button right next to the subscribe. So anyway, that's all for your $2,000 fourth stimulus check update and recurring stimulus check update, plus your daily news update, including very scary news about the bomb in the Library of Congress and the T-Mobile data hack that exposed the personal information of more than 47 million people. We also have news on the $3.5 trillion stimulus package and unemployment extension coming directly from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, as well as Senator Bernie Sanders. And lastly, how colleges are using President Biden's stimulus to wipe out student loan debts. Oh, and we also cover the hot new stock tip on graphics card maker NVIDIA, the provider for big tech companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Tesla. So I really hope that you guys appreciated all the stimulus goodness today. And as always, thank you guys so much for liking the video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and join the family and hit that notification bell that way you're notified as soon as I release new videos and content. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care and be safe. On the next one. Take care and be safe. On the next one.